is City News everywhere.
It is so important to recall that Canada did have slavery, that we enslaved Indigenous people as well as people of African descent.
Sunday, August 1st, 2021 marks Emancipation Day, on the same day way back in 1834 when slavery was abolished in the British colonies, including right here in Canada. On March 24th, members of Parliament voted unanimously to identify August 1st, 2021 as Emancipation Day in Canada. And Sunday, Winnipeg held its first event in recognition of the day.
We dedicate ourselves to move forward in partnership with Indigenous and Black communities in a spirit of reconciliation and collaboration.
Slavery existed in Canada from the 16th century until its abolishment in the early 1800s. Despite the abolition of slavery, many Black Canadians and people of color still face racism and discrimination today.
I have optimism and hopes that it will become more than just a political gesture. So I believe it's a start towards an official recognition that slavery was actually practiced here in Canada.
Former Chief of Broken Head First Nation Jim Bear discussed the colonial history of Canada and how it affected Indigenous peoples living here.
It is now 2021, and First Nations still not live the dream of Dr. Martin Luther King in his I Have a Dream speech. Free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we are free at last.
Winnipeg lawyer Laurel Harris, who specializes in work related to anti-racism, equity, and inclusion, says Emancipation Day is important for all Canadians to reflect, understand, and remember.
Black history is also Canadian history, and yet remains, as we've heard already this morning, mostly absent from our classes, the books that we read, notwithstanding that Black people have been present in what is now Canada since the 17th century.
Judy Williams, who has worked in community development for many years, says when she was growing up, she realized her family's history was a tragedy, not a love story.
This decision was made less than 200 years ago, a few generations for most of us. We need to recognize and take time to understand intergenerational trauma of enslavement and its effect on each of us.
In Winnipeg, Alex Carpa, City News.